Okay, item 2.6, trustee election waiver at community college districts. Steve, you
Yes.
again. Okay.
As the board knows, every 10 years there's a census, and on the basis of that census, district boundaries, trustee boundaries are redrawn to equalize the districts within community college districts. The California Voting Rights Act has raised concerns for a number of districts. They feel they have exposure to potential liability if they continue with their at-large trustee elections. So many districts are now converting to trustee area elections where a trustee is represented from a particular part of the district, not the district at large. Prior to this legislative session, districts were required to go to have a vote of the people to change from an at-large to a trustee area election. That was an expensive undertaking. The legislature did not feel that was necessary and has now given the Board of Governors the authority to approve the determination by districts that they would like to have trustee area elections. So over the next several meetings, we'll be seeing a number of these coming through. This was the first one. The Cerritos District has taken the appropriate steps to change from an at-large to a trustee area elections, and the Cerritos District's request that the Board of Governors approve this change and adopt the resolution.
Is there anyone from Cerritos here?
I don't. Oh.
Yes?
This was our public speaker.
Are you from the Cerritos?
I am. My name is Chris Scannell. I'm an attorney with Nielsen Mercimer, and we
Okay, well, first, press your
excuse me.
button. Okay.
We represent the Cerritos College District in connection with this issue. The Cerritos College District has been sued under the California Voting Rights Act. We were in the process of moving to trustee area elections anyway, and several plaintiffs submitted a demand as in the mix with that process. And so shortly before the board took final action to adopt it, a complaint was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court. So this is part of a sort of parallel process with litigation as well. The board has hired...
Excuse me, you said several filed suit?
Several plaintiffs.
Several plaintiffs.
Represented by one plaintiff.
Got it.
Excuse me. And so the board has retained a very experienced demographer and has already considered in public hearings several draft plans and anticipates adopting a final trustee area plan in December to be implemented in the 2012 elections. And so I won't take much more of your time, but I'm happy to answer questions. And we would ask that you approve our move as part of this process.
Member Ramos?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Can.
Still getting the hang of this. Well, I'm highly favorable to this proposal. I just wonder why we're not encouraging this throughout all of our districts and in every location where this would make sense. It seems to me that this is something that's happened in other governance contexts throughout the state at the county level and in cities all across California. The demographics of our state suggest that it will be a more inclusive way for us to govern. We are community colleges. It seems to me that we should be more representative, not less. It seems to me the district approach enables us to have more people who represent these communities at the table. It seems to me it would be a cost-saving measure in exchange for resisting through long and painful litigation battles. So I applaud the proposal at the table for this particular action to be taken, but I feel that it just stands to reason in my common sense that this is something that we should at least be encouraging, frankly, if not requiring our districts to take a look at. I see no downside to this.
Chancellor Scott?
I will point out that I think a lot of districts right now are in this process, so I would expect at the next meeting, for instance, for there to be a lot more requests for this. I don't happen to have right at my fingertips the number of districts that use the at-large and the number of districts that use areas. I know the district to my right here that Jeff Baum represents is by areas and has been that way for a long time. So Our colleges are, if you look at it, are kind of broken up in three different ways. Some are already by areas and therefore meet this particular thrust. So they won't have to take any action as long as they make sure that the areas are equal in population. Others elect at large, but they require that their trustees be from different areas. And then there's a third group that just elect at large, period. By the way, Los Angeles Area Community College District is one of those. And so it is going to be, I think, right now, you know, there's always perhaps some division within a district as to how you ought to do it. But I don't know yet. I wouldn't even know what I wouldn't know what action that this board could take to encourage that. I don't imagine we could take an action that would require it. But if districts don't move in this direction, you're exactly right. They're going to be facing lawsuits as a result of that, because it's felt that particularly some minority groups, although they may have a large number in a district, they never have anybody on the board because it's elected by the district as a whole rather than by areas, whereas if they were elected by areas, it would be much more likely. So there is a movement underway. I would compliment the Community College League for pushing forward on this issue to make it easier, because as was pointed out, if you have to, in order to, previously they had to actually go to the voters. And of course, any election is quite expensive, and you're not so sure how the voters would end up voting anyway on an election that probably would have a very small turnout. So this is now legislatively possible to do by coming to the Board of Governors. And I would simply mention to you that I think you're going to receive quite a number of requests in this respect. And I don't know how this board feels. Certainly Member Ramos has expressed himself well. And I can simply say to you that I know of quite a number of districts that have already been doing this through the years, and I don't think it has any downside.
Yeah, and if I could just follow up real briefly, the Community College League has been very active in this, and the Community College League probably is playing the role that you would support of encouraging this activity, and we've been working closely with the league in facilitating this process.
Member Baum, Member Baca, then Vice President Perez.
First off, I'll put the motion on the table to adopt the recommendation.
Second by Member
And then
McDougal.
my comments echo Member Ramos and the chancellors. I think this is a good move. I expect we'll see more of these. And I think the LA district is one case study that I think would benefit by having district representation in that massive district. So I think this is a good move, and I applaud Vice Chancellor Garcia and her team and the league in making the legislation possible for us to be able to help districts move in this direction without having to go through a number of additional regulatory hoops to do it.
Member Baca.
Well, given that I've been very much kept in the loop by CCLC
Is your mic on?
others.
Mic on?
It's on?
Yep, now it's on.
Okay, couldn't tell because the red light was on. Sorry about that. Given that I've been in the loop on this very closely with CCLC and then consultants locally on the issue, I think that my suspicion is that the system has been sufficiently informed of this. The trustees have, and how it actually translates is a different question. But I think that there's full awareness that the trustees have to take a very close look at this, and in fact take action, because what happened at Cerritos is likely to happen at other districts as well. So I think just in response to your concern about not having trustees aware of that, I think they're fairly aware of it.
Any other comments or questions? Member Ramos.
I'm sorry to prolong this a bit. I don't think my concern is so much that. I think it's the idea of this board making an encouraging statement of some kind that is affirmative to encourage this direction. I'm really pleased at the League and that our Vice Chancellor's Office for Government Affairs has taken some leadership on this, so that you and others have been involved. But I think it's very important that, given our policy shaping and influence role within the state, if we can do something affirmative to inform the field in an affirmative way that we encourage this, I think it would be a strong statement.
We have a motion on the table, made by Member Baum, seconded by Member McDougall. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Oh,
I want to
abstain.
abstain because San Francisco is, thank you. San Francisco is a coterminous county and city, and our election rules are somewhat different, so I would need to do research on that.
Very good. Abstention by Member Berg. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.